I needed to kind of come online now and really heavily criticize LBC to allowing this fat man, um, Nick Ferrari, and his little lapdog, this lady who runs around because the fat bloke is saying something, and I can't call him fat because I'm fat myself. Yeah, um, almost as disgusting as Nick Ferrari. But anyway, I listen to his show in the morning when I drop off the kids because there's nothing else to listen to, and I my English is my third language, so obviously this is the only radio station which could teach me uh, English wise what I don't know. You know, there are a couple of good phrases, there are a couple of good lines, words I never heard, and then I translate these words from the dictionary, and that's how I improve. Now, before this man, uh, yeah, before this man tells you guys that to the 51st time, it is not a journalist's responsibility to report things to the police. Now, I have no idea about journalism, but I have a lot of common sense, which Nick Ferrari and 90% of LBC journalists don't have, I suppose, because they might be educated, some of them, but education is one of the things which can't really buy you common sense. And common sense is a very powerful thing in life because there is no university for common sense. This is not something you can learn. You either have it or you don't. Yeah. If you educate yourself, you might be able to improve yourself, not sound stupid, because then they teach you don't talk too much, because if you talk too much that it means that you're not that powerful, and all these gurus worked out, about humans, and so you can go study this, so you can put on glasses, then you look smarter, all those little tricks, but common sense you can't learn. This is it, and I have a lot, and unfortunately um, Nick Ferrari doesn't have any, but he has education from universities or wherever he got his education from. But let me ask you something, fat man. And as I said, since I'm fat, I think as a Zeitgenosse or Artgenosse, um, we can have ein bisschen Schadenfreude together, no? Using one of the German words, the only German word James O'Brien has and uses every day like 5 times. Now, it is not a responsibility from a journalist to report to the police, correct? Yeah, it's correct. Yes, this is by law or whatever. Nick Ferrari, whatever brainwash he tells to people. Now, Nick Ferrari, on your show, you're very controversial. I mean, I can read between the lines. I know exactly who you are because, as I said, I'm not dumb and I have a lot of common sense. You're possibly an extremely racist person. Yeah, but that's okay. I have no big, and this is just my opinion. And I think I'm entitled to have my opinion. And I put this video online so you can come at me and we can talk, because don't use names because the person is not there to defend themselves. No problem. No, the video is out there. You can defend yourself anytime. You can leave comments. I even happy to take you out for a beer. Maybe not a beer, coffee, because the way you look with your piggy face and all red, I think you're heavier than me. I mean, I'm an alcoholic already, but I think you're on another level already. But maybe it comes with age. But let me ask you a question here. You taking the mickey out of the people in the morning, which is fine. Yeah? You never say anything. You never say on which part are you on, because maybe this is the kind of Mocskaköröm that you need to be biased and journalism and all this. But I don't think you give a damn about climate change. I don't think so. I'm pretty heavy, and I think that you, a Brexit voter, which is, again, I have no beef with that because this is your life. But that never, I listened to you 100 hours or more. It never really came clearly through. Do you support the Brexit or you didn't? But since you are a racist, in my book, you definitely supported Brexit. I mean, you know what's the outcome of this, yeah? Soon you guys have nothing to eat. I'm in England, I'm in London, but I will have always something to eat because I grew up in the 1980s in Romania. And if you grew up in the 1980s in Romania, then if you don't have anything to eat, then you find something to eat, you know. So I'm a survivor. You put me out somewhere on the Antarctica with a pair of socks and underwear, and I will survive. I have no issue. Me and my family will never suffer. By the time we die, there is not one single English person who will survive. This is the truth. So I don't care about empty shelves because you guys haven't seen empty shelves yet. Fuel crisis, you guys did not see queues in full fuel crisis 1982 83 in Romania, where you park your car, 3 months later you go back, yeah, and you 2.5 meters, you moved 2.5 meters, yeah, and all night the car needs to stay there, and so on and so forth. So there is no crisis. This is nothing. However, coming back to your question, journalists should not report to the police. Yeah. So, Nikki, you're sitting, on a double-decker bus, and someone comes in with a with a with a bag, yeah, with a button in his hand, and you're going like, oh yeah, well, I'm a journalist. I can't call the police. I can't tell the bus driver because this is not my job. The police should have the intelligence that catch the suicide bombers. And you're going like, you take out your little mobile phone, yeah, or your big mobile phone with your little hands, and start filming this suicide bomber, yeah. And then it pops, you die, and they find the footage, and everybody's gonna say, yeah, man, Nick Ferrari killed 70 people, not he himself, but he could avoid this by running down and telling the bus driver to evacuate the bus or call the police or whatever. But instead, he stood up as a journalist for journalism, and he did not report, because a journalist should not report to the police, because this is not a journalist uh, uh, responsibility. Right. Now, my question is, how, and by any means, I do not support these people sitting on the street. Neither do I support Extinction Rebellion, because the problem is not in this country. The problem is in China, India, and Asia. If you guys traveled, you've seen those tuk-tuks and those cars driving around in Cuba. That's where the problem is. In Little Britain and Europe, yes, we also put carbon out. But compared to India and places like China, we are just a little, sometimes on your hair, this stuff is this fluffy white little stuff. This is how powerful Britain is, in terms of not powerful, how much carbon Britain does compared to India, example, yeah, or China, or even Thailand, or these places where, yeah, Cuba, I mean, Jesus, those cars, 1940s America, 5-6 liter engines still running, bum, 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 bum. Anyway, but we will at some point kill the world with that carbon. Now, that Nick Ferrari doesn't believe in climate change and this carbon, he doesn't say it, but this is it, because this is how it is. This is the guy, drives around with his big, huge diesel BMW, Audi he drives. So, without me supporting that isolate Britain, I strongly believe that the information, any information gathered by anybody, should be immediately sent to the police so they can go there and remove these people. Because not you, Ferrari, not your little lapdog, Venables or whatever, Rachel Venables, I think, who runs around because you give your fingers and she runs around as your slave, has not the right, and no driver on the street either, to touch another human being because of the rules in this wonderful country. Yeah. Now, if I'm sitting there, I won't sit there because I have brain. Yeah, I can waste my time, because this is nothing. These 5 people are not going to change anything, because it's the government's fault about the shitty houses they built, or they built back then and now as well. and the people, the lazy people's fault that they don't do the isolations, and the government that don't support them, and so on and so forth. So these 4 people sitting on the street, this not gonna make any change. However, if I sit there and some of these drivers touches me, yeah, and drags me by my feet or by my bum, pulls me on the street, I'm gonna make a court case and I'm gonna win, because no one has the right to touch me. Now, do I have the right to sit on the street? No, but that is a different matter. This is for the court to decide and punish me for sitting on the street. Yeah, it's illegal, fine. I should get the penalty from the court, but nobody should ever, ever touch me. Because if they do, then they're going to trouble. Now, the police, on the other hand, has the power, if the law is changed, the power to remove people. Now, Nick Pig Ferrari says, surely the police could have the intelligence. the British police are intelligent. I mean, you can't call this police. I mean, if you want to see police, you just have to take a boat, drive through the channel, end up in France. That's more like a police. But if you really want to see police, then you have to hang around the Philippines, yeah, where I sat down on a piece of land in front of a bank, yeah, with a nice bird, having a chat, and the security guard of the bank says no sitting on the grass. And I said, why? And when I said why, he did this, and not inappropriately, no, on his palm gun, he did. And then I left Manila immediately, leave alone the grass. This is policing, this is where the power is, yeah, but telling people, would you please mind to move, or can I give you a blanket, or maybe a hot cup of tea, that, you know, this is not policing. So in this country, there is no police. This is the Mickey Mouse dressed in a city uniform. I mean, look at the bobbies, man, with the horses and the bicycles. I mean, come on, man. And a horse on Leicester Square. And this. So you can't rely on the British police. Therefore, if he has the intelligence because he is paying someone to give him this information, possibly one of the Extinction Rebellion people or one of the Isolated Britain people sends him the intelligence every morning, which he pays a lot of money for, or maybe it's one of his friends, but somebody is talking. Because LBC needs to have more people watching and listening to, because what does LBC do? Living on the advertise. Now, if nobody's listening to LBC and nobody's watching their silly videos and their second-class website, then there's no money coming in, because they can't do the advertise every 5 minutes, yeah? An avocado next to you, and then an avocado just for you. I mean, imagine how many millions of pounds this company gets from advertisers. So, how you want to explain the difference, Nick Ferrari, that you kill the world slowly with carbon? Not you personally, you know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, English is my third language. So my English is not good, but it's okay. I'm trying my best. I was taught English by working class people, so I wasn't that fortunate. Like let's have a banana, Boris, you know, who build things, yeah, Eton and stuff. These people are the well-spoken people, the intelligent people, the smart people, yeah. These are the people who governing our country. So people like me, you know, pretty useless. But anyway, so how is the difference that you killing the world slowly, because at some point we are gonna burn or go down, because the ice is gonna go and we wanna go down with the ice, or you take out 40 people or 50 people or 200 people in the bus or the airplane because you as a journalist don't wanna report to the police. How is it a difference? So I'm pretty sure if you would see someone with a knife in London chopping people up, you would report the police, would you, Nick Ferrari? You certainly would make a phone call, because it's a citizen, yeah? Or then you would turn and say, well, hang on, right now I seen it, I don't work as a journalist, No, no. Today I'm private person. I'm reporting. Right. That's what your argument will be, because you are a dumb guy. This is it. So at any time when you hurt anyone, and obviously those drivers are hurt because some of them are going to the hospital with a pregnant wife, some of them need to deliver some food which only can be in the van for an hour. So this blockage causes a lot of problems, a lot of misery to people. Maybe nobody's gonna die, but it's also potentially that someone dies if they can go to the hospital quick enough. So you support that people are struggling on the street and suffering because of you as a journalist can't take. So would you then also support that the suicide bomber is blowing up a bus in London and you don't tell because you actually going to LBC in the morning, so that means you're already kind of working for LBC, and this is not your duty as a journalist to report to the police. You know what, my friend? Yeah? You are basically an idiot. That's what you are. And I know that you have no problem with being abused because your skin is on your face is pretty much the size of the skin of a bum of an elephant who just came out of the mud. So you don't care about me talking and other people. But think about it, my friend. It should be, and it really should be, your duty to get the police out there to remove these people, that life can carry on and that people don't die. Because what's gonna happen soon, one of those drivers gonna lose it, and this is just a matter of time, and will drive into the crowd. Now, Nick Ferrari, this is gonna be on your conscience, my friend, because you have the intelligence, LBC have the intelligence, God knows where, God knows how, and maybe it is your legal duty or whatever you call it not to report to the police. But when this happens, and this is just a matter of time, because if you get one of those guys who loses it, and maybe his wife just divorced him and he's in a miserable place and he's gonna put his foot down because maybe he's gonna be better off being in prison than out there in this world, then this death of this person, if the protester, whoever, whatever it is a little bit on you. And it is. And if you believe it's not, then you have zero, zero, 0.0 conscience. Now take that with a pinch of salt, Nicky boy.